Yeah, this is your boy T Nasty, and I got another dope video for y'all, man. It's homeless man beat as volunteer SWAT medic holds him medic awarded. Now, don't know what this video is about, but Lackluster always drops these gems. So make sure you like and subscribe, leave us some comments, and let's go ahead and get to this reaction.
By Lucky 225 and begins at an elementary school in Pueblo, Colorado. A police report claims that in September of 2022, a homeless man was in front of the school and a school resource officer was attempting to trespass him, during which it is alleged that the man became irate and punched a teacher, fleeing the scene. Obviously, part of the story is missing, but the department claims that the officer's body cam, quote, died. Later, about a mile from the initial scene, the suspect is stopped by a man in civilian attire. Doug Cullison has now effectuated a citizen's arrest. He happens to be the teacher's husband from the earlier incident. He also happens to be a non-uniformed volunteer SWAT medic for the Pueblo County Sheriff's Office. In Colorado, for a citizen's arrest to be lawful, the person must have witnessed the crime and can only use appropriate and reasonable force. But Doug didn't witness the initial crime. His wife texted him a picture of her alleged assailant, and what happens over the next few minutes is horrifying. The man appears to now comply with Doug's order.
Homeless or not, you put your hands on me, dog. Hey, dog, why? Sometimes I feel like I be begging for situations like this to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm just strolling down the sidewalk and you put your hands on me, hey, I gotta have you. No ill sense, but mistaken identity. Like, this will never happen to me, bro. Like, some dude mistakenly identified me as the person who caused some crime or some BS earlier. He's not a law enforcement, but he's somebody's wife, and he mistake me as a person. Like, this guy, I don't know if this guy committed a crime or not, but hey, put your hands on me like that. Try it. I mean, I don't really get that smoke like that. People don't mess with me at all. I guess because of my sheer size, I guess. I don't know. But I don't get people being rude or disrespectful to me. I guess this is a person being 6'2", 250, you know?
Orders, but shortly after, two random men appear on the sidewalk.
All right. What's your name, Huckabee? They are. Weapons on? No. I don't. What are you doing pushing my wife? Me too. What do you mean you Sir, did? can I tell you something, please? Alright, I'm sorry, alright? I got full execution. So you're gonna put the execution on No, sir, I promise. I promise you. No!
As the man pleads with the volunteer SWAT member, he is pulled into position to make his face available to be punched by the man who was walking by. Doug then empties the man's pockets, and another man pulls up to ask what was happening. At about the same time, Doug's son pulls up to the scene, and the two other men begin to leave. Doug's son is Nate Cullison, the number 2 ranked amateur flyweight MMA fighter in Colorado. After Nate exits his vehicle, he runs to the scene and kicks the man his father is holding down in the back of his head. He returns to deliver another kick to his back, and as his father continues to hold the man down, Nate punches the man 16 times before...
That had to have been brutal for Lackluster to cut that up, because he, like, full force, like, ran to him like he was playing kickball, bro. Like he was trying to get a home run, like he was trying to get around all the bases, bro, the way he kicked that dude. And this dude is like, look at him. You know what I'm saying? He ain't big as me, but like he got some size on him. You know what I'm saying? Oh.
He returns to deliver another kick to his back, and as his father continues to hold the man down, Nate punches the man 16 times before kicking him a third time.
MMA fighter.
After which, he is punched 7 more times and kicked a 4th and 5th time while he screams for help.
Now, allegedly, he punched his mom, right? The teacher. We don't know the whole backstory just yet, but I'm sure if I found out somebody put their hands on my mama, I would do the same thing. So understandable. Like if I heard somebody putting their hands on my mama, hey, I might be in jail for murder. You know what I'm saying? So I get why he did what he did. You know what I'm saying? I get why he did what he did. Let's go ahead and get to the real story, though.
For now, the beating stops, and the first individual that struck the man leaves before cops arrive. The father and son pin the man to the ground to wait for an officer, during which another passerby stops to ask if he is okay, while Nate takes a selfie with the man he just beat. His injuries are so bad that the volunteer SWAT medic retrieves his aid bag from his vehicle to render care before the arrival of EMS. Finally, nearly 8 minutes after the incident began, a uniformed officer of the Pueblo Police Department arrives on scene. As he exits the vehicle, you can hear two high-pitched tones. This tone is fairly universal in law enforcement and indicates that a body camera has been activated. However, it is alleged that there is no body cam footage associated with this incident. According to the Pueblo PD, the damage to the man was so significant that this was a bystander's reaction when the man was finally allowed to sit up. When more officers arrive, instead of arresting the men who restrained and mercilessly beat the man, they exchange fist bumps. The man is first taken to a cruiser, and eventually they realize that booking is never going to accept him in his condition, and have EMS dispatched to bring him to a hospital. The father then tells his story to an officer. The audio is terrible, and all I was able to salvage from the conversation is this section. EMS arrives and the man is taken to a hospital, and on scene, none of the officers question Doug's son, despite his actions causing the most damage after dealing 23 punches and 5 kicks. The official narrative for the incident was written by Officer Baca, but mentions nothing about Doug or Nate. Instead, it claims that the man was found at a local store, that a citizen conducted a citizen's arrest, and finally, that the man was cited for battery and released. Doug also told the officers that while apprehending the man, he fell and scraped his head. The man's injuries and trip to the emergency room via ambulance is also absent. The department's failure to question Nate is especially concerning, as the CAD report states multiple times from multiple 911 calls that, quote, multiple parties assaulting a male, 2 males restraining and another is kicking and hitting him, multiple people pulling over to help and getting involved in the fight, 2 men are holding a kid down and are hitting him. They used a lot of force. In fact, one of the callers added that she wanted the call taker's notes to include that the dad should not have tracked this kid and beat him up, and that she saw the whole situation. None of the officers even asked the store if there were cameras running that may have caught the beating. But despite the witnesses, an officer that is seen activating his body cam, and no official narrative of how the man sustained so many injuries during a citizen's arrest, no charges or even real investigation took place with the department to look into Doug and Nate Collison's actions. The department told Channel 9 News that they had never seen these videos before, but I have obtained screenshots of emails proving that at least Officers Baca and Sergeant Martinez were aware of the videos in September, and that Baca was given links to the footage. And even after having those videos, there was no investigation and the incident was swept under the rug. And just 5 months after this event, Doug Collison was awarded the 2022 Non-Uniform Member of the Year Award, which happens to have been presented at the same ceremony that awarded Charles McWhorter a Purple Heart after an incident that also raises eyebrows. Lucky 225 started investigating this a few months ago, and in February, he took a screenshot of Doug's LinkedIn profile, which reported as presently a volunteer for Pueblo County Sheriff. Just after this story was made public in April, an end date was added to the profile. Today, his picture is removed. We want to make it clear that no one is condoning the battery of Doug's wife, and if guilty, the man should be held responsible, but this type of vigilante justice is unacceptable, and the cover-up is even more disgusting. The man has now hired a lawyer, and an investigation has been reopened by the same department that first covered it up. Possible charges for the father and son are harassment, strike shove kick, false imprisonment, and third-degree assault. And now, the man is likely to take Doug's boat, house, and a substantial portion of his retirement income, which according to LinkedIn comes from his nearly 30 years of service with the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Such is the cycle of life. You always end up back where you came from. Let me know how much time you think these men should be sentenced to down below, and what should happen with the officers that responded and did nothing on scene. I urge you again to also check out Lucky225. His article and YouTube channel will be linked below, as well as an unedited version of this video. Thanks for watching. If you have a
Man, that's crazy, bro. Now, if the allegations are true about that kid or whatever hitting the teacher, then I get why the dad and the son reacted the way they did, because you put your hand on a woman, you gotta suffer the consequences, right? I would have did the same thing, bro. Like, you put your hand on my mom, or you put your hand on my significant other, my wife or whatever, I gotta have you. You know what I'm saying? What the son did was pure, just straight out of emotions, bro. You know what I'm saying? I get it, bro. I get it. Like, my mom, my sisters, and my aunts and stuff like that. Like, dude, you put your hand on either one of them, I gotta have you, bro. Even like close friends. Me personally, I don't like when men put their hand on women. If it's true, now we don't know if it's true if he really did. Even if he did, you know what I'm saying? I had to have him, bro. So I'm really not mad at the dad and the son for doing what they did. Honestly, I'm not, because I'd have read it the same way. Now, as far as like the law, where they can just hold him down and just beat him up, that's a totally different thing now. Because, like, me personally, I would have suffered the consequences, right, for beating his ass. Hey, you put your hands on my mom or my wife or whatever, dog, I'm gonna beat your ass. Hands down, I'm just gonna beat your ass and have to suffer the consequences. I know I'm gonna go to the jail for it. You know what I'm saying? But I did it protecting my fucking family. You know what I'm saying? I already know that in my head, I'm going to jail for beating your ass, for putting your hands on my wife. That's the consequences I have to suffer. But the fact that nothing happened, they getting fist bumped, they calling it citizen arrest and stuff, that's totally different. I think if it was my black ass, I probably would have been in jail. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that they got away with it, like, pretty much jumping this dude. Come on now, you can't do that. Even cops can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Cops can see somebody doing a crime right now. Hey, they pull this dude to the side, supposed to arrest him, and instead they jump him. You know what I'm saying? They can't do that. So I'd like to know how this is handled further along. So I hopefully Lackluster drops a video about this, the outcome of it. But this your boy T Nasty, man. That's your boy, and I'm out. And subscribe to Lackluster.